What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And today we're going to talk about Keeper because Neon put audio description on it. I'm in the mix of the neon of it all, right? So I figured I would mix it up by seeing what else they had to offer this year, and that was Keeper. I've already reviewed It Was Just an Accident and uh, Secret Agent. So, which unfortunately both got rotten reviews from me because, well, they're not in English language and they they don't have audio description. But Keeper does, the Osgood Perkins movie, and stars Tatiana Maslany, who seems to be trapped in some sort of I don't know, mind numbing stare that makes her believe that what Osgood Perkins has to offer her is quality. She is labeled as a producer here, so I'll give her credit for that. She did get bumped up to producer credit. So, Anthony Perkins' kid is directing a really weird film that's really hard to describe without spoilers. I'm gonna try to avoid them, but I'm gonna give like a light spoiler warning just in case I stumble into something. I will say that I think that this movie is probably best experienced if you don't know anything about it. The less you know, the better. I had a passing knowledge of what the movie was about. I think the interesting thing is with Keeper, I couldn't find anybody who liked it. Like I have a little collection of critics that I like to go to, especially when I have a film that doesn't have audio description. I kind of bounce around to see like what was I missing, what are the things they're talking about, how much, how far away from the finished product was my thought on it. And with Keeper, I haven't seen anyone that I normally listen to or follow like this movie. So that doesn't stop me. I have a positive review, which I probably eventually I'll get around to putting on the tomato meter for Harold and the Purple Crayon. So, I, if you like something, you like something. It doesn't really matter if everybody else likes it or not. But I didn't like Keeper. I can't with this movie. I wanted to come in here and be like, but I liked this Neon. So I'm not mad at you, but I can't with Keeper. um, it's not fun. It's not a good movie. It's weird. There are choices that are made here that I'm just like, girl, please, girl, bye. Perkins, I think, reveals way too much at the beginning. He has a thing where he shows like the first. I don't consider anything where like the movie opens on blank to be like a spoiler. So like the opening scene of the movie is like this montage of four women across time periods, all sort of headed to the same direction. I think that reveals too much about the plot of the film. I think this movie works way better as a cabin in the woods feature without context being given to it. I would not have done that. It's a very odd choice. I think it tips its hat way too much and suggests a nefarious tone. One of the things that worked really well for Perkins with Long Legs was the sense of dread that he played out over long periods of time, where he would hold on on a shot, and you're not sure if like you're about to get jump scared or if there's going to be something behind her, and oftentimes there never was. It was just like he would hold it in a way to make you believe something was going to happen and then pull away. And for some horror fans, that was annoying. And I guess because they're so used to things like Smile, where, something pops out and goes, bah! They're like, oh, thank you. I felt that was like a jump scare moment and I got my jump scare. But then to kind of be blue balls in a situation where you think there's going to be a jump scare and you don't get one, I guess some people just don't like that style. I think it's actually that's what makes him different is his ability to hold that. Then he did the monkey, which was I liked it. It was over the top gore. It was very different from Long Legs. I kind of was hoping he'd go back more to the Long Legs style. Keeper is a little bit of I don't know what Keeper is, man. I just I don't I don't know. This is one of those stories, your friend comes to you and he has some great ideas usually, and then he comes to you with that one idea and you don't know how to break it to your friend and you're just like, I this is not no. No one will want to see this. But unfortunately somebody nodded their head. It was like, yeah, this that sounds great, man. I'm really excited to see. I'll probably be out of town though when it premieres. I haven't told you when I'm gonna be out of town, I promise you. I, I'm moving. I didn't tell you that, but I'm not moving to somewhere. Not here. Um it's too obvious. It tips its hat way too much at the things that it's hinting at. It's not really scary, it's just kinda gross. It's just there's nothing that's really happy about the movie, and there's so many choices that he made where I'm like, if he had directed this a little bit more like Longlegs and kept you waiting and drawn it out a little bit more, it might have amounted to something, but again, he opens up with this segment to let you know that, you know, this is probably what this thing is, like, in case you aren't thinking this way, which you wouldn't normally be. If you cut the opening segment, then it's just a girl and her boyfriend driving to this cabin that his family owns in the woods, which is like 1,000 other movies we've already seen. Like, that is done to death, and it's done to death because it usually works. Like, we don't typically keep doing things over and over if it fails every single time. Like, the formula is there for a reason. It's because it worked. And people generally follow a formula because it can elicit success. So the cabin in the woods format uh works, but it doesn't work if you kind of show us a little bit of like a preview of what's to come and suggest that there's something afoot and that perhaps we might be in a history repeating itself situation, which is heavily what is implied in the first part of the movie. So she moves out to this cabin with her boyfriend, and they're supposed to be spending a romantic weekend together. It's another thing, too. For a romantic weekend, see, Perkins is really good at directing horror movies. He's not really good at directing romance. So he has two people here who have like no chemistry. He hasn't picked up on that. So these two walk around, and he's more interested in building uncomfortable dread than he is engaging you on this idea that these two are in love at all. He doesn't want to sell that package to you, but it's a kind of an important piece of the package to be able to believe. See, the thing is, the film works best, and this is where I'm trying to, like I said, mild spoilers, because I think the film is very obvious. So what I'm saying will be a spoiler to you only if I guess you're not picking up what the film is heavily trying to suggest as it moves along. The film works best if you don't suspect the boyfriend of anything, which is why you need to be able to not see the opening sequence, which is why Perkins needed to be able to reinforce this with just a glimmer of romance, just a little bit of the charm, a little bit of the oh my god, he's so hot, oh my wow, he is that is a boyfriend, he's so romantic, oh my, look at that, look at this is everything they're gonna be in. I know we're in a horror movie, but they're gonna be in this together. Whatever they're doing out here, it's together, the two of them, because you can sell that. He has like decently into the movie. He has this cousin that stumbles in who's clearly a dipshit. Like just uh so I mean you could easily like paint that as being like the turning point for, oh, is something happening here? And then there's this like uncomfortable tone between him and his cousin. And it's like, well, he's the good one, his cousin's the bad one, and then go from there. I mean, Perkins had so many opportunities to make this a good movie, even with all of the weird stuff that comes at the end, which, by the way, is very weird. This movie has a very strange and unfortunate turn. Just- I But if you're gonna do it, like, what happened to the dude who did Long Legs? What happened to the dude who was unafraid to hold on Mika Monroe staring at a letter for like 30 seconds with like an open frame behind her, making you wonder, is someone gonna come up behind her? Like, what's happening? Um, I think he benefited a lot from having Nicolas Cage in that movie. I mean, like, I think that's becoming more and more obvious is that he kind of tripped and fell into Long Legs because the monkey is so not Long Legs, and then this is so not the monkey or Long Legs. And there's something to be said for diversifying your portfolio, but at the same time, if you keep diversifying, it keeps getting worse. I don't know that that's a positive thing. Kind of makes you seem like you're more of a one-hit wonder than a prodigy within the genre that you would like to direct. So there are a lot of things here. There's this cake that's in a box, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's from our caretaker lady. She just loves to make cakes. Put them in boxes for us." I mean, I was thinking to myself, I was like, if I came in, you first of all, you have to sell us on the boyfriend more, but there's something about the sequence where she's like kind of being forced. The cake is being forced upon her that doesn't work at all. Like, first of all, it's like it looks like it's a chocolate cake. And so she immediately says, I don't like chocolate, but then she tries it anyway, as if she would, as if she, like, if you don't like chocolate, then you don't like chocolate. Like, tasting, if you're not a fan of the thing, you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, it didn't yeah, it's not good." 'Cause I don't like chocolate. But at the same time, it's really weird that he talks the cake up and then doesn't eat it himself, and that, if I was her, would have thrown me off. If I'm up there with my boyfriend and he's like, "Oh, there's this cake. It's been sitting here for a while. I want you to try some of it." Be like, "Are you gonna you say it's really good, but don't see you moving to eat it." I don't. Something there's something about this cake and being out here. I think I might have accidentally stumbled into dating a serial killer. Like, I may be in a situation here that I need to find myself from. Um, yeah, he just kind of stares at her, and I'm like, are you gonna even try to serve yourself? I just I don't know. Perkins's choices with Keeper, just so many of them. I was like, "Ugh, I can't with this movie." Like, I would have loved to. I would have loved to come in here and been like, "See, Neon, I love the things you make." So I just have to go, well, I like Shelby Oaks. I'm one of the I'm one of the critics that went positive on Shelby Oaks. So, and I don't know some other films, but I don't know. In the midst of me bitching about the lack of audio description on all their international films, they also released Keeper, which is also not a good movie, and I can't lie. I can't lie for the sake of being like, well, just um I saw so many opportunities for somebody to give Perkins feedback and send him in the right direction, and I guess no one is. They all just think he's amazing and a prodigy of, and this is the kind of, when you get trapped in this little bubble and no one tells you that you're not any good or that you have problems or that you could do this better, and you're not listening to feedback and people are afraid to give you feedback, you get kind of trapped. And this is how we get a Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how we get somebody who is persistently told that they are single-handedly saving something like film, I don't know, black actors, whatever he's been told, church movies, anything that, and so that he no longer believes or listens to anything about the quality. He just thinks he has haters. So, and runs like a hamster on a wheel trying to churn out as much content as humanly possible in any given calendar year. So Perkins, listen to some people. Please, if you are a friend or a family member of Osgood Perkins, don't be afraid to say, hey, but what if? You know, because I think he needs more of that in his life. He has glimmers of potential in his direction. And the best thing that I can say to him, even though he had some haters on it, is that his willingness to hold on an uncomfortable shot without turning it into a jump scare. Like that was one of my favorite things about Longlegs. It wasn't that in Nicolas Cage's absolute batshit crazy performance, but there was some shots in there where he just held, and people were like, "Well, this is boring," and it's like, "No, it's great." And like we're just so desensitized to it because we're so used to things jumping out at us every 5 seconds, and it's like, his dad came from Hitchcock. I mean, like the brilliance, like one of the greatest directors of all time. So if you're gonna do something different, Shyamalan came in and suddenly everybody was attracted to what he did because it had twist endings. Perkins can come in because he can bamboozle people with no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna put the jump scare there. And then instead of having a bevy of jump scares in his movie, like Smile, he has maybe one or two. And he still keeps them in there to make you think it could happen, but not enough, right? And then I think that's the cool thing, is to keep people constantly on the edge. It's like edging for film. And that's what he did with Longlegs. He's not doing that here. There's nothing stylish here. This is boring. This is dull. This is lifeless. This is derivative. It's everything that it's easily to anticipate. The characters aren't written well enough. I felt bad for Tatiana Maslany. I just don't like this movie. Like I guess she's okay in it, but it's really hard to tell when the character isn't written well enough. And the things in the film are just not explained well enough. So there's only just so much I can do with this movie. But um, yeah, the audio description has some interesting moments to it because there's some things that are hard to describe / explain that are very weird. There's some very weird things in here. Don't worry, I haven't spoiled it all for you. I promise you, even with little suggestions of things, if you really truly know if this is all you've ever heard about Keeper, you're in for a ride. At the very least. I don't know that it's one you want to take, but you'll be in for an experience. Um, so I thought, considering that there are some really bonkers ideas and concepts here, I thought the audio description did those really well. And there are a couple sort of like, he does kind of play with that idea of like, ooh, is there something in the background? Although in this one, there almost always is. So, uh, yeah. Keeper. I don't want to. I'm gonna give it a 3.4 out of 10. I just didn't like this movie. It's kind of gross. It's kind of a downer. It's not a film that I would want to watch again. But I did like The Monkey and I did like Longlegs. So hopefully Perkins can turn his career around and he doesn't make more of these and he makes more of the other things. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.